Alright, so welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another unboxing of some more scooter parts that I've got in from AliExpress. So I don't know exactly what these ones are, but I believe it's just from feeling around. It feels like it could be the front tyres, definitely not the rear tyres, the front tyre, and wheel assembly. So we'll just get stuck into this again and we'll see what we've got. So this time around I've gone with, it should be a 200mm tyre with 50mm width and hopefully a 10mm hub. That's what I'm hoping for, so we'll see. Definitely a tyre. There we go. Got this, came in just over, maybe just over 2 weeks, I think. I ordered all this stuff, so still fairly quick, which is great. And at least we know if we order off this seller, we can get it. Alright, so here we go. So this is the scooter tyre off AliExpress. As you can see, that's how it comes in. Pretty simple. First impressions, I guess it's pretty basic, but good rubber, well packaged too. So, I mean, not a lot can go wrong with a tyre on the delivery, but it's nice to see that it is well packaged. There we go there. That's the tyre assembly here. Beautiful. 2 bearings either side. It's a 4-bolt hub on it. All aluminium. One piece. Beautiful. I believe in this packet here, this should be the tube for the tyre, but I'm not quite sure. There is something else in here. Actually, here we go. Alright, so this looks like to be shock absorbers. Well, I've got hydraulic shock absorbers here. This is one thing that happens on AliExpress a fair bit, is you'll order 2 things, and just for reference sake, you'll order 2 things from the same supplier and they will still charge you shipping on each item. So that's a little bit annoying, but it's just how they operate. So I think this one might have been 10, 11 bucks for shipping. These shocks were the same thing. I'll open these up here. These are quite small. Have a look here. So hopefully that camera picks that up. Yeah, beautiful. So these are going to be used for the front wheels. Now I'm just having a look at these now from here. If you have a look here, this is sort of the idea I had when I had it going in my head. So it's not a lot of travel on these, but they were just to supplement probably a rear suspension setup that I design a bit later on. So these seem pretty good. This looks like a 10mm hole here. These are supposed to be hydraulic and springs. And if I quickly just measure these, I can just grab myself some calipers of some sort. Alright, so this should be 10mm. Beautiful, so we got bang on 10mm here for the hub, and we've got just over 10mm here for the shock. Total width we've got here, hopefully these open up enough. There we go. Total width is about 150mm there. The tyre is 200, or at least it should be. We've got 50mm wide, about 50mm wide for the tyre by about 200 long. 200 top high, sorry, and it's a pneumatic tyre, so I've got there'll be a tube in here as well, and it looks like to me that it's already assembled, which is nice. It means I don't have to do it. What I will do is quickly pump this tyre up and see what it looks like when it's inflated, and see whether or not these shocks will do the job. These here, they were only 26 bucks for these, so they didn't really cost a whole lot. But I can see that now that I've got them, because they're actually a lot smaller than first advertised. So that's probably worth mentioning as well. I think the measurements on the drawing that came with the description was just a little bit inaccurate, but we may still be able to make these work. So, and I'm hoping we can. So I look here, shock tower, it doesn't give you a lot of travel on the suspension too. So if I come out here a little bit further, which was what I was hoping to do, you don't get much travel on these before they sort of bottom out on the tyre. But we'll see what we could do. We might be able to use them, we might not be able to use them, but regardless, they've come in. Worth noting on these bearings, these are a 6200 RS, so you can get these from anywhere. So a good thing for if you are looking at making something that's going to last a long time, or at least use a lot, bearings are easily replaceable. So these bearings you can get from just about anywhere. BJ Bearings in Dandenong will hook you up if you need any. I might replace these for a Seal for Life or Seal Master bearing if I can, just because it's going to get wet and I don't know exactly how good these are. I guarantee you they're not that good. Anyway, we'll pump these up, we'll see what they look like, and then I think we'll call it a wrap for that. This is a pretty simple video, pretty straightforward for this one. Not a whole lot to talk about. Overall quality though, for the tyre, excellent. Excellent quality for the tyre. These, not too bad. We've got, for the top, shock tower, 10mm thread there at the top. Like I said before, about 10mm ID on this hollow shaft here. And by the looks of these, they have approximately 20mm of travel, 20 to 30mm of travel. There isn't really a lot there, which again, that's less than was stated. So I'm not too stoked about that, but not a huge deal. I'll pump this up and see what it looks like, and then we'll probably just finish up from there. Alright, here we go, so that's pumped up. Obviously you got your 50mm width now, which is nice. Let's see if I can get this to sort of focus a little bit to this part of the camera. Bear with me here. Beautiful, there we go. You can see the tyre there. It's a tread, pretty basic tread. It's not an all-terrain, it's just a simple road tyre, but this would be fine for grass and gravel and all that kind of stuff as well. So worth noting, these are pretty good. So this tyre cost me, I think, 28 bucks for this tyre. Comes with everything, bearings, the whole lot, or just one kit. Again, these were about $26 for these, so not too bad. Very happy with the tyre though. The tyre's fantastic. It might be a bit small, so I wasn't too sure, but this might actually be a bit too small for the build I'm doing. Just to put that into perspective, it's only about the size of my hand. So maybe not perfect for what I'm doing, but we'll see. So far, that's the same size I've got for the rear tyre as well, so we'll go from there. Thanks guys. Leave any comments if you want any more information about the wheels or the tyres, or the shocks for that matter. I'll do my best to get back to you. Just quickly before we do go, I think hole centers here for this hub are approximately, again, about 45 by 45, approximately. About 45 by 45. In case you're looking at building some sort of brake or brake disc assembly, they're about 45. But you can also make any sort of adapter you want. It's all one piece aluminium. Anyway, beautiful. So worth noting as well, and I thought this was quite interesting, so I just bring the camera in here and have a look just in there, which is again a little bit hard to see. I'm trying to focus in there. You can see that the hub has actually been machined and bottoms out under the bearing. So the hub is actually designed to fit just this bearing. So you can't push it in too far. Means if you go to replace them, knocking them in will be easy. So whatever you put in as far as your center distance here, so for the top of the shock, it'll match up every time because the bearings can only go in so far. It just it's fairly well made, so it's probably worth noting that, because I've seen a lot of these little wheels, let's say for like a wheelbarrow or a barrel or something, you'll see that there's just the quality is just definitely isn't there. And for this price, which these were really not that expensive, and I'll link them down below so you can buy the same ones I got from the same seller. These aren't actually too bad. They're actually just, they're probably cast, but they've been machined really well to fit these bearings. So these, like I said before, these are an off-the-shelf bearing. You can get these from anywhere that sells bearings. They'll probably even sell them at hardware stores like Bunnings. Also, just on these shocks too, they appear to bottom out. I just was able to test them just before. They bottom out probably at maybe 25 mil, so there's not really a lot of travel on here. With two of them together, allegedly you're getting 300 kilos of force, so 150 per shock. I'm not sure how true that is, but if I just place this up here and then I've just measured the top here, even if it bottoms out at that 25-30 mil mark, these will still clear the top of the hub. So just based on that, I think I've made the right choice. So I'm really happy with the shocks I've got here. The size is probably perfect. Any bigger would probably look a little bit ridiculous, but I'm actually really happy with, at this stage, the type of shocks I've got. Now, you have a look here. There's a little hole. It probably have to be machined out just a little bit. See, there's a hole here. It's a little bit from the casting, a little bit rough, but it looks like you could probably mount some sort of brake unit off this as well. So I don't know what brake has just one mounting hole, but there's a hole there for something. It might even be just for a brake cable, but I'll look into that further, I guess, along the build. But just off the bat here, I would probably order these again. They're not too bad. They come with those nuts for the top as well, and like I said, once you build something that sits across here, it won't bottom out and touch the wheel once it's level with the shaft here. So this will fit perfectly. So even fully bottomed out, this will not reach whatever plate you make to fit across this area here. That'll hold obviously your handlebar or your steering area. Whatever you put on there won't bottom out and touch or scrub on the wheel, which I think is very important and worth noting. I'm probably going to use some plate like this. I think this is 12 mil plate. Might be overkill for what I'm doing, so I might even get some 8 mil or even 6 mil plate. Might be good enough, but just to place across the top of the shock. So essentially have one here and one here, and then the wheel at the bottom, and then a bearing or something through the top here with your shaft for the rest of your steering assembly. I'm going to run all my cables through the top here as well, probably using RHS. I'm thinking 50 by 50, something like that. I like the squared look, but I'm open to change that halfway through. So I've seen a few broken or damaged scooters on the side of the road with head stems that look to be in very good condition. So I might end up using a head stem from an actual scooter, so I don't have to make my own, and it's just a little bit simpler. But I do want to run all the cables down the middle, so with that in mind, there's every chance I do just make the entire steering assembly just at home. I mean, it won't be that hard. Now with this, obviously you're not going to keep it square, but I'll show you guys how to make, let's say, some sort of shape. So let's say if you wanted these shock towers to sit there and there, if you're going to want sort of a not just a square. This looks ridiculous, but probably have some sort of shape like that, so it's round, a little bit more inviting. Shock towers go through there, bolt through here, and then here, so this area here is probably going to have a bearing of some sort that allows me to actually turn the wheel. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but that's sort of what it will look like. And you can make all this at home as well. So to get these rounded edges on plate, obviously you're not going to use a jigsaw, but you can use a grinder. Just cut it sort of near enough, and then just sort of cut in like this. Once you've cut near enough, and then grind them back and smooth it out. It's not going to be that hard, and again I'll show you as I do it, but that's just worth noting for these shocks. These shocks are not bad, and even if they do bottom out, they will still suffice for my build. And I didn't really want big obnoxious shocks on here anyway. I didn't even want them to be red, to be honest, but they just were the only ones that were, I think, free shipping. So yeah, worth noting. Thanks guys, have a nice day.